Okay, you are almost at the end of ninjanegotiating.com, the full Ninja Negotiating audio training series. You are almost a black belt in negotiating with homeowners. This is Chris Haskins, and I'm still your host. Now, as we come to an end, this one here, this is, I hope you're noticing a pattern here regarding the homeowners that I'm talking to. Typically, the homeowners you want to be in front of need to sell. They don't just want to sell. They have to sell. They must sell their property. And that's who you want to be in front of. So this lady here is a sad situation. She's got a divorce situation going on. Her husband left her with all the bills, the mortgage payments, and the kid. So just very sad situation. Another sad situation. So this is going to be a divorce seller. The lady still lives in the property. She's behind in her payments. She owes too much. Her monthly payments they may be feasible, but I'm going to look into that. Only way we could do this deal here. This is going to be negotiating another subject to. We're going to buy this property subject to the existing financing. So let's get right into it. This is a divorce situation, and we're going to negotiate taking over her payments and keeping the house, keeping the loan in her name while deeding over the property to us. All right, you got to master this strategy here because the interest rates are extremely low now, and you should be able to take over some great loans. And don't forget, every seller is going to be different. They have different problems, different personalities. So make sure you listen to all the trainings and see how we approach each seller. Okay, here we go.
Hey.
Hey,
Hey, you
how
guys
you
want to
doing?
come in?
Yeah,
Yeah, come on in.
thanks for having us over.
Yeah, not a problem. Hi. This is my roommate.
What's your name? Nice to meet you. You want to sit in the kitchen? Okay, notice what I did. I immediately took our conversation right to the kitchen. That's where you want to be. Sticky kitchen situations here. Sticky kitchen negotiating. So I got there. This particular lead came from a lady who saw my coat. And on the back of my coat, I buy houses. So she came up to me and started talking to me. I want you to know that I think this lead here is going to be a subject to. Whenever you can, you should know your exit strategy before you actually get to the house. But sometimes you can't know it all the time. So I don't know exactly how I'm going to take this one, but I believe this is going to be close to a subject to. There is no equity, and I think her payment is $700 and some change. So let's focus on building rapport and getting all the facts on the loan on this deal. And by the way, I do have another coaching client with me. Tamara is going to be there. You may hear her talk from time to time, but the homeowner is a female and my coaching client is a female as well.
Kristen. Yeah, I remember Kristen. I'm Tamara.
Tamara. Oh, you're doing good.
Yeah, let me you kind of know doing dishes. Well, you can do that.
Take your turn. No big deal. They make me record everything, so I'll just let you know. What's your last name? Spell it for me. And first name is spelled. Cool. So tell us what is going on and how we may be able to help you.
Well, I'm kind of going through a divorce right now, and I need to get out of this house because we can't afford it any longer.
Okay, when we get there, we do not want to jump right to the house. We want to ask them, what's going on? How do you think we can help you? How can we help you? Why are we here today? So the poor thing, she told me that she's going through a divorce and she doesn't think that she can afford to keep the house anymore. So that is the bottom line with this house. Poor thing, this is a sad situation. So you want to be very, very sympathetic to people going through these hard times.
I'm a few months behind on the mortgage.
How many months behind?
I'm pretty sure it's 3 or 4 now. I just received my foreclosure letter.
Okay, she's jumping right to it. She's already behind on her payments. And she's 3 or 4 months. Usually that means 6 or 7. You really never know when you're dealing with a homeowner. A skill that you're going to have to develop is listening to what the situation is and figuring out the best exit strategy for each deal. So she's already told me that she's behind on her payments. She's getting a divorce. She won't be making another payment. So this automatically sounds like a subject to deal. I'll just take over the payments, whether there is equity or not. But I'm going to find out whether she has some equity in the deal also, which is a plus. But let's see what the payments are and see if we can walk her down the subject to deal.
Do you have the most recent mortgage correspondence or mortgage statement?
Yeah, I have it around here somewhere.
Okay, you see the next thing I jump right into is, do you have your most recent mortgage statement or mortgage correspondence from the bank? Because anything she says, it may or may not be true. We need to be able to verify this in documentation from the bank. So as soon as they tell you 1, 2, 3 months behind, hey, do you have the most recent mortgage statement, just so we can verify it?
I'm so sorry. This is probably right here.
Nice little area down here. This is a cul-de-sac kind of thing.
Notice how I take the conversation off of these monthly payments that she's 4 or 5 months behind or whatever, and I throw in a positive thing about the property. At least you're on a nice dead-end street. The house, just so you know, is not in the best shape. It's not the worst, but I'd say it's about a 6.83 out of 10. Seems the lady is kind of young, so they haven't really taken care of it, but it's not a dog. It doesn't have fleas, so it is livable. But throws a positive note in there when she's looking for this horrible piece of paper that's going to just stab her and just say, hey, you're 3 or 4 months behind, and make her feel bad. So say something positive if you can, to make the people feel when they're looking for certain things, or whenever you can, make a positive gesture to make light of the situation.
Yeah, it's a dead end to the school. So.
What school is down there? What grade is that?
It's an elementary school.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did we get here? I remember you mentioned something to me, but how did you get where you are now? What's it?
I married a military man and I moved across the country.
Okay.
Live here.
So you're not from here?
No.
Oh, where are you from?
West Coast. My mom's in the Army, so it's been everywhere.
Okay. You're military, bro. Let's see what we got. This is your full payment. Okay, this is principal and interest, $774.
Okay, so she gave me her mortgage statement or mortgage correspondence from the bank, and I verified that her payment is $775. So we know that to be a fact. So you need to know that 100% without a doubt what the monthly payment is, so you can see where you can squeeze this deal to make it fit. Whether it's going to be the subject to taking over the payments will even work, because if the payments are too high, then you won't be able to rent it or get an owner occupied in there to cover those payments.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't apologize. I usually don't do this, but I can't quite concentrate the TV that loud. I don't know if it's a main.
Can we turn the TV down?
Just a little bit. Just a touch, you know. I just can't. Thank you so much. Sorry about that.
Wait, I want her to see a plastic surgeon first.
Thank you, baby.
Thanks, yeah.
Okay, notice I real quickly took control of the room. I don't want people to waste my time, just like I don't want to waste somebody else's time. Listen, could you turn the TV down? This is serious. I'm here to talk business. So I requested that she turn the TV down. I just exercised my authority and my expertise saying, listen, could you turn the TV down? I'm here to talk business. I don't want to waste my time with all this garbage and confusion coming in my mind. I need to listen. I need to focus on what's the situation at hand. Now, I will agree that was a little risky, but I noticed the people I'm dealing with, a younger lady and two younger women in the room. I figured I'd try my luck with that whole little turn the TV down thing. I wanted them to know that I'm here. I'm not here to watch TV, or I'm not here to be your friend. I'm here to solve a problem. And it worked.
So that was due last week. So we gotta add 775 where I'm at. Okay, well, that's pretty much it. This is your PITI, which means your principal and interest and escrows in there, so that's cool. They're paying your real estate taxes.
Yeah.
And your insurance.
Yeah.
You're lucky.
So I verified that her monthly payment Includes principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, aka the escrows every month that will go to pay the taxes and insurance. So that's looking good. You know the payment will cover all the expenses associated with this house. So that payment covers everything.
Yeah.
You're very lucky with that.
We bought this house from his uncle, who is a realtor. So
Okay. Who was his uncle, by the way?
John, he works for. I can't remember.
$75 a month. I'm just gonna say 4.75 in arrears.
Okay, so when they give you the information with the bank loan and they're already behind, take some time out and just calculate exactly how much they're behind. So you hear me trying to going over with my head and my pen on the paper there. I'm calculating how many months he's behind, late fees and all that stuff. Because the worse you make it look, the better it is going to be for the deal. The worse the situation is for the seller, it's going to be easier for you to step in and offer them a solution. So calculate all that up, make it look as bad as possible.
So what would be, what's your ideal situation? What would be, say, hey, this is what I want to kind of do?
What do you mean?
What you have in your mind, what you kind of wanted to, how you want to solve this thing?
Well,
Now, at this point, you need to gauge whether you need to keep building rapport, which is getting to know them, or let's go ahead and talk about the deal. So what I went ahead and started talking about the deal because she told me that she's going to lose the house either way. She can't make the payments, period. So I know building rapport isn't as important as it is with a house that I'm going to make $50,000 or $60,000 on a spread on buying it cash. So let's get her talking about what's her ideal situation. How does she see this thing playing out? What she's looking for, because she already knows that she cannot keep the house. So what is she actually looking for?
we need to sell the house so we can get out of here. The house comes with that pool. I have a pool back there.
You got a pool?
Yeah. Apparently, when the house was bought, or the pool was bought, they put a lien on the house, and it's
You told me
transferable.
that. Where's the documents for that?
At the moment, I'm not sure.
Tell me about that now. They put a lien on for the note, for a loan? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, because this pool's transferable with the house.
Okay.
Like, if I were to sell it, I could add the pool to the value of the house.
Okay.
And it could transfer hands that way.
Okay, for your knowledge, she got a loan secured by this pool in the backyard. It could have been a loan for anything, but it just happened to be a pool. Now, this pool transfers with the house, so there's a lien against the property, against them, for this loan for the pool. So that's going to be an additional loan on top of the home loan, on top of the mortgage.
How much is that lien?
I didn't know I needed all this information. I'd have been much more prepared.
It's cool. Take your time. Just give me a ballpark.
I
10
know
grand?
it's like, I think we bought the pool for $9,000.
Wow. Is it an in-ground pool?
No, it's not. It's an above ground pool. Maybe
Okay.
it was 5,000.
Okay, you can see she's kind of out of it. She's kind of not wanting to accept the reality. That's another reason why I'm glad I did the whole stir things up with that TV. Listen to what I'm saying and turn that TV down. She doesn't even know how much the loan is for that pool. So she may not be taking me seriously or taking the situation seriously. So we can either choose to rough her up a little bit, shake her up and say, hey, listen, you're going to be on the street. Or just say, you know what, if you're not worried about it, then I'm not worried about it. The call is going to be yours to make at this time.
I'm not sure. I kind of let my ex-husband
You
take.
told me you just signed off, right?
Yeah, I kind of signed off on everything. I just let him
I
do
understand.
it.
Okay. So is it nice? I mean, we'll look at it in a minute, but it's...
Yeah, it's nice. It's only been used a couple times. Like right now, it's green, the water in it and stuff. But there's nothing wrong with it. It's only been used a few times in the 2 years that we've had it.
Okay.
Because I wasn't gonna clean it by myself.
Yeah, I understand.
So, and pool, chemicals are expensive. So
I got a friend who's got a pool, man. His is green, too. Plus the water, I mean, water bill's high just filling it up, isn't it?
yeah, it takes like 2 days to fill up. So 2 days of like we turn the water off at night, and then when you wake up in the morning, it's a big pool. You want to see it?
We're gonna do? We're gonna walk through everything.
Okay.
No big deal.
My daughter's sleeping in the back room,
fine.
but she's just asleep. So.
Bedroom's just 4 walls. I don't really care about that. Wow. So yeah. So whose name is on? Both of you guys on the pool and the house, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, notice how I wanted to verify whose name the house was in, because she was married to a guy. The house could have been just in his name and he could have just said, hey, you deal with it. Or the house could have only been in her name and he moved in with her. So I just wanted to verify who's in charge of selling this house. And you need to know that.
And I already talked to him about all this. He said that the house is mine to do whatever with, so he'll just sign off on whatever he needs to sign off on.
Indeed. How long have you been in the house?
We'll be in the house for 3 years in February.
Oh man, so you just bought it.
Yep.
How long have you been married?
I've been married for 5 years.
Just curious, yeah. I've been married for 1.5 years, man.
Yeah.
God gracious, man. Can you give us some advice? I mean, what's the key to?
Respect and appreciation. That's all you gotta say. Like, that's it. If
Is
one
he-
thing falls off, it falls apart.
Very fun. Is he in town or what?
Yeah. Well, he lives with his girlfriend now, so.
Oh, okay. Sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah, it happens. People forget sometimes, I guess.
So, where you gonna go?
Well, my roommate and I plan on just moving into a 3-bedroom apartment with my daughter.
Okay, guys, you hear even sometimes I get stumped because situations are so brutal. This guy was married to a lady and just left her with the house, all the bills, and moved on to another city with another girlfriend. This is just unbelievable. You can hear me stumped, but I'm still looking for something positive to say. If you want to do these deals, guys, you're going to have to make your seller love you. They're going to have to like you. So look for something to say. I turned it around. Hey, could you give me some advice? I know your situation didn't work out, but could you maybe help your fellow man by giving him some advice? How can I stay married? So that was my positive thing, to make her think about some positive. I needed to program her brain to think positive for me. So I got her back on track. I didn't want to dog her out for going through a divorce. And she's telling me that her and her roommate will be getting a new place to live, which is fine. So mentally she's moving out of the house, which gets us in the house.
Have you been looking?
We were looking for a little while, but we're trying to figure out where we stand and stuff like that and what we can do, and we got to get rid of the house first.
What's the total loan balance on this thing? Do you know? Oh, there it is.
You mean
103.
I thought we bought the house for 106.
Well, you might have paid down $1,000 or something.
Maybe, yeah.
103 there. Total unpaid. Yeah, it's like 103. You probably paid down some overtime,
Look, I have to tell you a secret.
Okay, I'm taking my time. I'm viewing the documents she gave me. So take as long as you need to review the documents so you don't miss anything regarding the numbers, taxes, insurance, any type of escrows, monthly payment, any type of a fee that they added in for a certain amount of time, or they lowered a payment for a certain amount of time. Make sure you diligently look at the mortgage correspondence that they have.
Secret that I kept hidden.
So, when did you kind of want to be done with it? First of the
This
year?
really
or
does kind of
February?
involve her too.
Okay.
Come in here and talk to me.
I watched you in my
Do you want to talk? When do you think that we're gonna be looking at getting out of here?
never cared about what anyone else said. I don't know.
Tell me about your night.
You can't sell the house
Yeah.
in February anyway.
Yeah, I can't sell the house until February
Why is
because
that?
we have the $8,000 tax thing for new
Okay.
homeowners, and I have to be in the house for at least 3 years,
Okay.
or I have to pay all $8,000 back. So
Wow.
And
We
I don't
definitely
have
will say it'll be at
$8,000
least February. Then.
Well, it would be half. You
It would be half. Oh, well, yeah. I still don't have $4,000 either.
So in the past, the government gave some homeowners an $8,000 tax credit to buy a property, but in return, you needed to stay, or you were required to stay in that house for a particular amount of time. So apparently she has to stay according to that loan or I guess it was a loan that they gave the homeowners to buy the property. She has to stay in there till February. So we know we're dealing with a time restraint. So we have to understand that so we can move forward and get our deal prepared.
So we'll just say minimum February.
Yeah,
Is that
most
fair?
definitely minimum. And I know that she's trying to get her financial situation straight as well, get a new job and after Christmas and stuff like that.
Cool. Okay. February's the time frame. Okay, that's all we need to know at this time. You want to give us a grand tour?
Yeah. You want to start outside?
Yeah, let's hit the pool. Let's pay arm and leg for.
Okay, now I know I've got some additional time to put this entire deal together, so I'm not going to waste too much time building my rapport. Plus, the house needs some work. I can tell by just where I was sitting. And I did all my investigation on the monthly payment, what they owed. So I figured that it was going to be a very close deal. What her monthly payments were going to be close to what I could probably rent it for. So I knew she was going to be in the house for some time. And there was no need for me to continue to sit down. So I'm like, let's go ahead and look at the house and get this home visit over with. And I encourage you to do the same. Don't waste that much time when you know you don't need to close the deal, or you can't close the deal fast. I had several months to deal with this house because of that $8,000 tax credit issue.
Yeah, it's a nice pool. Thank you very much, guys.
Cool. Nice.
It is a really nice pool. It's all vinyl sidings and it's just a mess right now.
Yeah.
That shed, we were gonna tear it down, but I didn't see that gonna happen. They're not married, so.
How's the neighborhood?
Oh, I love my street. Sometimes, you hear things or whatever, but it's Hampton.
Oh, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's Hampton. But I've never had any problems, like, with kids or anything like that.
Cool.
In fact, I'm pretty sure my half of this street is the quietest street in the neighborhood.
Okay.
I'm surrounded by old people, and I mean, there's a military family down the street, and I have a firefighter. She lives right here.
Okay.
This is my neighbor, and then a cop living next to her. So it's a rather quiet street.
All right. Only probably the only thing that's a main.
Yeah,
street
that going that way kind of gets crazy.
How about the windows? How old are they? Do you know?
We put all new windows in all of the windows except for the big pane window in the front.
When did you do that?
When we bought the house.
Did you pay for all that cash?
I don't think we paid for it cash. I think either uncle did it or we helped pay for it.
When you bought it?
Yeah, like it doesn't look like new carpet right now, but all of this is brand new carpet, like all the all the matting and padding.
Okay, so we're looking outside. I'm asking her about the windows. Always ask about windows, roof, siding. Find out how old it is or when was it last replaced. Now, I am continuing to build my rapport, but I didn't want to sit in the house and waste time, so I can do two things at once when I'm walking around, getting to know her, programming her to like me, and asking about the repairs on the property. You heard I also asked about the neighborhood. I'm looking for some arrow downs regarding my price or regarding what they're going to get. I don't want her to be able to justify getting any money out of this deal because they already owe pretty much over what it's even worth. So the neighborhood, hopefully I can point out some things that's going to take the value down in her mind.
So,
Okay.
that's brand new too. It
Alright.
doesn't look like it. 'cause
Yeah,
there's-
it's no
I have
big
a
deal.
2-year-old.
3 years old. How about the roof? Is the roof the original roof when you got it?
Yeah, original roof. Never had any leaks or anything like that. This is our kitchen. The layout is super weird.
All these houses.
Yeah, like the washer and then the dryer, but
What we've done in the past is build a wall here,
yeah,
put
they
a
really
bathroom there. And
Yeah, I see. That would make more sense. Like the remodeled home across the street, I went in their house and it's all done up, all crazy.
Really?
They had the microwave up on the wall and stuff like that.
That's what today's mom wants, people that are buying houses,
Yeah.
Okay, she already understands she has a weird layout in her kitchen. Plus, she has no microwave. The washer and dryer is already in the kitchen next to the stove. So that's another arrow down regarding her mind and her property. So we're looking for different things to devalue the property, not verbally, just things that we kind of notice with our eyes. We're not going to tell her that her property isn't worth anything. Let her talk it through and let her notice these things that are bad about our house.
This is the spare bedroom. It's a queen size bed. It's a good size bed. Oh yeah, that heating works.
So this is what heats the house?
Yeah, that's the wall unit with the thermostat over there. All of the closets in the house are this big.
That's fine.
All of them.
Yeah. These houses, they make them all the same pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay, there's another discount on this property. The closets in here are extremely small, so we want to just bring it to her attention. She's told us that all the closets are their size. So that's another arrow down regarding her getting a good deal. So bring that stuff up when it happens when you're in the house. And make sure you're actually looking at all the closets when you're doing these walkthroughs in the houses, because you can negotiate that discount if the house has small closets.
There's a fan that pulls the air out.
Bathroom. This is the master bedroom. Have laundry outside. That's a queen size bed. It's
Okay, that's cool. Does your fan work to go to the attic now?
it used to, but it gave out.
Okay.
I don't know
That's
what
fine.
happened with that.
So we're just making a note of the attic fan doesn't work. Some houses have these fans where you cut the attic fan on, it'll suck out all the hot air in the downstairs. So that's just another note, a mental thing that's gonna be another repair that we have to pick up if we're gonna take this property sub 2.
And there's no central air and heat though.
Yeah.
And then bathroom. This has got like a shower.
Any problems with your plumbing or anything?
We were having problems with the plumbing, but once we got it piped out, like ran a snake through there, it was fine. We think that the tree out here is trying to grow its roots into the pipes.
That's what it does.
But the firefighter lady over here, she's gonna get those trees cut down with
okay,
my
cool.
permission. So
Expensive.
yeah, and but the sap is ruining her car, so
Really?
she's not happy about that.
Yeah.
This is another mine.
Yeah, it's just
Okay, that's a huge question mark for us. When trees get into your sewer lines, sometimes you got to have that whole sewer line replaced, or you will always be snaking it out to keep your sewer line flowing. It gets clogged up. I know that because I've got some rental properties that I had to replace the entire sewer line because every time we got it snaked out, it just kept getting clogged up over time. So that's something that we definitely do not want to pay for. So I'm going to lean towards giving her no money for that problem that we're going to just take on our shoulders.
Any problems with the roof leaking or anything?
I never had problems with the roof leaking. This bookcase is actually built into the house.
Looks nice.
And the doors are kind of weird. There's no there.
What you mean?
This is space. Yeah, there's like a space this big on the door. I have to keep a calendar most times.
Oh yeah, that's from the threshold business. Yeah. That's what happens when they don't do it correctly. All right. Have you talked to a realtor at all about?
Okay, make sure you throw that out there. Have you talked to the realtor? See where their mind is. Some people hate realtors. They don't want any realtors coming in their house. She might be one of those people you don't know, but see where her head is regarding how she feels about realtors, or if she knows a realtor, because you may know the person. If you take this property under option and you put it on the MLS, you need to know whether her realtor friend is going to see it. So that needs to come out in this conversation.
I talked to a realtor about short selling the house.
Okay.
And she told me that I needed to get like a hardship letter And then when I called the bank, that I needed to talk to the bank about how I need to do a
Loan reinstatement.
loan reinstatement. But because I don't want to sell the house until February, so
Okay.
the loan reinstatement was gonna keep my house from going into foreclosure or whatnot.
I don't know.
I don't know either. So I'm currently about to go to crediting counseling. I have a piece of paper somewhere, and it shows all of the stuff that I need to do with the house as well. It's
But you don't want to stay here, right? You want to get something for a smaller payment or what? You want somewhere lower payment or what are you looking for?
I just need to get out of this house.
Okay, you see, she was rambling on. Sometimes you have to steer your homeowner to get back on track with why we're there, or exactly why she needs, what's her pain to get her out of that property, what's her problem. And so we need to start agitating her problem. She needs a lower payment. She needs a smaller place. She needs to do that immediately and identify which way she's going to be going. Even if she is not prepared to sell the house now, we need to make arrangements for the future because she's got a kid and she can't just pick up, in 1 or 2 days with a child. So we need to plan out the future for her.
The memories?
Yeah,
What's the main
it's
reason?
hard
Yeah, for the reason. Okay.
to be here, and plus the house bills. Okay, so the mortgage. I work at. I mean, it's not the best paying job though. I work with I make like 11.23. So a mortgage was eight something, 817, and
I thought
then
it's $775.
right, but every time I go to pay it, they tell me 817. Maybe it's a phone fee, but
That's weird. Okay.
I've been paying 817 for months before I stopped paying my mortgage.
I understand.
And then
Okay, we need to find out what that's all about. She said we saw that the mortgage payment was $775, and then when she goes to pay it, she's paying $817. So we need to find out why that is before we pick up this problem.
on top of that, just house bills in general are hard right
You
now.
think it's maybe the place isn't insulated? Maybe.
I don't know. I thought it stays pretty warm in here, and like during summer when we have the ACs in the.
You have window units and stuff?
Yeah, I put some window units.
Okay.
Like I have one in my bedroom on the ground because I
Okay.
just took them out. Excuse me.
Yeah.
And then so when I put the window units, I usually put a window unit over here, and I have that in the garage, and then a window unit in my room.
All right.
And
You don't need too much in here.
Huh?
You don't need too much.
No, and it works wonderfully. It
Good.
keeps that side of the house cool, and it just shoots down the hall. So,
Okay.
Okay, no central heating and air. Huge issue. I have to this date never actually done a house without central heating and air, so I don't even know how to market that type of stuff because every homeowner wants central heating and air. So that's another issue that you're going to have to be prepared to pick up or just pay for it to get installed. So remember that when you're putting your deal together for the subject too. Remember, you have to rent this out or sell this to somebody that's going to make a monthly payment that needs to be higher than what your payment is. So do your research. Make sure you know what people will pay a month for a house that does not have central heating and air.
at one point, when we were supposed to be happily married, we were gonna do the whole transition to the
Central
ACL
heating, yeah.
or at the central air and heat.
Expensive,
So
It's like $6,000 just to get it.
yeah, we looked into it. It's like $650.
High.
Yeah, it's real high, but
Your last name is.
yeah,
Okay.
for now.
Are you gonna change it back or what?
I don't know. It's a lot of paperwork.
Really?
Yeah.
Thing?
It's changed your entire life after building it for 6 years.
Yeah.
So
You might want to keep it for your daughter's sake.
yeah, and that's another thing that I want to continue to prove that I'm her
Yeah,
mom.
that's what I had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they'll.
That's right. You were married. Okay.
I ended up changing it later. Like,
Yeah.
I used to, how I would sign my documents was my old last name hyphen my name.
Your maiden name, right? It's just a lot of work to go through.
Yeah.
Really?
You have to change your social security card. You have to
Oh,
change
yeah.
everything that
Yeah.
you know in your life to your old name or your new name. It's just like getting married, just undoing it.
So you can hear I have a coaching client there with me, Tamara. She was doing a little girl talk, and sometimes it's good to have a woman's opinion when you're at a property. So you're not just a masculine figure there, but they were talking about changing names and all that. So that's kind of going to get our seller on board with us, liking us even more. So Tamara, that was a great job you did that, stepping in there. Thank you.
That's a woman thing.
It's easier to keep it.
Oh yeah, you don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, it's just
It's
easier
like,
to
no,
keep
it's
it.
still my name.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's easier to keep it.
I'm trying to think. Electrician. Well, we've only got one option, maybe, that we could do for you. We could save your credit, which it will save your credit.
Oh, my credit is going. We filed bankruptcy too.
Oh, okay.
Before he left me, right before he left me, our discharge got finalized. So, and then 2 months later, he was like,
Okay.
When was it?
it was discharged in June.
This year?
Yeah.
So is this under 13?
No, the house wasn't in the bankruptcy. No. Just all of his credit cards and all of his debt. So,
Okay.
because I didn't have any, but now I have some.
Okay, I tried to use the Save Your Credit card, but apparently she's already filed bankruptcy and her credit's in the tanks. So you can't use that one to negotiate for the sub 2, but you can use debt relief. Like, listen, we're going to just get this debt off your back. Well, you don't have to worry about any more payments. So you can try to come back with that one, but the Save Your Credit thing will not work because her credit's already in the trash. So it seems like she doesn't even care about that. Also, when you're doing these subject to deals, bankruptcy is very important. You need to find out if the home was discharged, if they took it out of bankruptcy, or if it was never actually put into the bankruptcy, which is what she said. So tell her we need the documents to prove that this house is not currently in bankruptcy, because you could lose your financing. So we need to investigate and get all the information to prove that the house is currently not in a bankruptcy filing.
Well, we may be able to. We're going to take it back to the committee probably tomorrow or Friday, but we may be able to offer you our LAP program.
Okay, what is that?
All right, that's all we're looking for. You throw it out there. Notice how I'm talking, my inflections. I'm talking very low. Hey, we may or may not be able to help you, but we may be able to let you put you in our LAP program. Just the LAP program is the loan assignment program. All we're looking for her to do is say, "What is that?" Just say that. We may be able to give you our blank program, and then just shut up and see what they say, because you're looking for the person to push back. You've pushed with an option. You need them to push back with, "Okay, what's that? I'd like to maybe take a look at doing that."
That's where we come in and just guarantee your payments for the life of the loan. Our loan assignment program.
Like to break even on the.
Well, no, we
House.
can't. There's no equity in the property.
Okay, right.
For us to go borrow 103 to pay it off wouldn't make sense.
Right.
Because the closing costs, I'm sure you remember signing the closing costs is going to be $5,000 to get a new loan.
Yeah.
I'm sure you remember your first loan when you signed for this.
Yeah.
All that fees and all
Yeah.
that stuff, those lines, yeah, same thing for us. We all got to pay it.
Yeah.
Recording fees, all that stuff. So, our LAP program allows us to maybe offer you some relocation assistance.
Mm-hmm.
And what we do is we guarantee the payments for the life of the loan. That could be 6 months or 6 years. I really don't know. So, but I don't know if you qualify yet. What I need to do, we'll have to take it to the committee. Do you have another copy of this, or can I have this copy?
Yeah, you can have it.
Cool.
Okay, notice I told her what we could offer her. Maybe we're going to guarantee the payments for the life of the loan. That could be 6 months or 6 years. I really don't know at this time, but I'm going to take it to the committee. Now, notice how I didn't even wait for her to answer. I just said, can we get a copy of your paperwork? I continue to move on because I don't want her to think. I just want her to act. We don't want your person to be thinking too much about this. They're going to think, well, the loan stays in my name. I'm still liable for the loan, blah, blah, blah. You don't want them thinking. You want them just doing. So notice how I changed the subject from what we can offer you to, can I get this paper and take it along with me to see if you even qualify? Because I don't know if you do. I can't even offer it to you till I take it back to the committee.
This way we can verify. You got
Can I
that.
take a peek at it real quick?
Yeah, you got a copy of it?
No, I don't have a copier, but I have.
Or I can, if you want to fax it to me, or
Oh yeah, I can
can-
fax it to you.
you can. Let me get my
Yeah,
fax here.
I
I'll write it
have
on
a
there.
fax machine readily available to me at work.
This way, because when we go to committee, we're gonna show. They're gonna say, I'm gonna say her payments this. Then I just gotta prove it. You know, and I can prove it right here.
Mm-hmm.
But that's really not even true either, because you're saying you're paying $817, but we'll
I
figure
ran
it
out.
out.
Okay, we need to have some verification of what she's saying. That's that bank statement. I'm sorry. That's the mortgage statement right there. So we need to take that back so we can verify exactly what our numbers are, what our outgo will be with the monthly payment to the mortgage for taxes and insurance and all that stuff. Another thing, if she is willing to fax that over to us, that gets her more in the boat rowing it for us to close this deal. The more you get your sellers involved with with your deals. Get them to fax something or carry something and get it notarized. Just give them a task to see how serious they are about selling the property. You'll be amazed at what people will do to work with you. So you get them doing little jobs, that's little closes for you. Get them closing more and more on getting rid of that headache.
Well,
I can print out my bank statement from.
No, I-
What is
believe
you. Is it the late fees? Is that what they're telling you? Late
maybe
fees
it is.
plus the.
Maybe it is the late fees that is making it a little higher for me right now.
Are you paying it after the
Mm,
16?
No, I'm not paying it at all right now
Oh.
because I'm trying to pay other bills. And she said
I hear
that.
you, man.
I mean, he's not helping me at all. Like, he's been giving me $80 in the last 7 months for my daughter. And he's bought
Sad.
one box of diapers, maybe.
What do you think the problem is? Why didn't you care?
I don't know. Like, it's out of sight, out of mind, I guess.
Oh yeah, that's fine. Just
Yeah.
okay. You want to send that over, or to tell us how you want to move forward, or what you think you may want to do?
Okay, I put it out there on the table. Is this something you think you may want to do? Just ask them that and then shut up, see where they're at. Is our lap program something that you may be interested in? Because I don't want to even waste my time taking it back to the committee if this is not an option that you want. See what she says.
So, can you explain the lab program to me?
That loan
again?
assignment program,
Yeah.
and we come in and we guarantee your payment for the
Like,
life of the loan. So the loan's gonna stay as is. But what we do is we help an assistance, like relocation assistance. We may be able to give you some type of monetary fee for that.
okay.
Being that we don't have to go get another 103,000, we can just continue to make the payments.
Oh, okay.
So it
Until we
saves
can
us-
get out of the house.
Well, you have to, in order for this to work, you have
Oh,
to
well,
be.
right. We have to stay in contact and stuff.
Well, we got the documents to
Right.
all make it work, but unfortunately, in order for us to do the deal, you have to be kind of moving out. Because in the past, we've brought
Oh,
loans
right.
current and
So
started
when-
paying them, and the people didn't move out.
Right. So when I'm ready to move out, that's when I would be able to be.
Yeah.
No, that don't look like that. That's a good thing.
Cool. Whenever you want to
Yeah.
move, I mean, you can stay along. It
Because-
don't matter to me.
It's just in a couple months, and
Okay, be upfront with them. You have to be out of the house in order for me to do this deal. In the past, I've personally never done it, but I've seen colleagues of mine bring a loan current, start making the payments, and then the homeowner just won't get out of the property. So don't do that. That's a no-no. I'm telling you now, do not bring a loan current and leave somebody in the house. That is a no-no. You get spanked for doing that. So tell them they need to be out of the house. Hey, we're going to just make your payments as opposed to us going out and borrowing another $103,000 to do this deal. We're just going to keep yours in place so you can move on with your life. Notice how I'm telling them very, very low. Notice my voice. Just telling them exactly how it is. It may not even be something you want to do. Make it so you're dangling that steak in front of the dog.
you know.
It is. It's gonna go fast too. It's Christmas.
I mean, the last 6 months of my life, 7 months of my life have passed by. Like I have no like time, timeline there
I hear
for a
you.
second. Like I feel like my daughter just turned 2, and her
How old is
birthday
she
was in
now?
August. She's 2.5,
2,
but like the last 4 or 5 months, it's just
Crazy.
all I have to do is get up, go to work, come home, try to pay a bill, get up, go to work, come home.
Man,
I mean, that's what my life has been consistent of right
I
now.
hear that, man. At least you got a roommate. I mean,
Yeah, she's helping. She puts
Okay.
groceries in the house and
Really?
helps as much as she can. She pays bills. I mean, but she's got her own bills too, so she's kind of doing this out of the goodness of her heart, just trying to help me stay afloat. So,
seems like you might want to, I don't know advice or nothing, but your husband may want, kind of maybe take some type of action against him. I don't know.
oh, I know. I tried to file for child support, and they put him into a locate unit, and they can't find him.
He's military.
No, he's not any longer.
Oh,
He was
Okay, take the focus off of the house, put it back on her, give her some advice. What I was just trying to create, just continue building my rapport, giving her, saying that, listen, I care about women that are going through these situations. I try to give her some advice to see if I can maybe help her at all. But I'm not really, pointing her in a direction. Just trying to create small talk to close out this home visit.
discharged out of the military in the beginning of this year. So
Crazy, man.
yeah, we've gone through a whole lot.
You still have to put that on him, because at least if they have him
Well,
in
they're
the system
trying-
with the arrears, it doesn't matter, they'll get him.
They're trying to tell me that I'm being uncooperative by not giving them the address that he lives at, but I don't know the address. So I think that's just on some kind of like hold or something. They said that my case is going to be closed if I don't cooperate with the office.
Good luck to you with that one, man.
I've been trying.
You apply for assistance and on welfare, they'll really go after him.
Well, I
They'll find
tried.
him. Oh, yeah.
I tried applying because we're not legally separated yet. We're going to be legally separated in January because I did my benefits in November.
Okay.
So for my legal aid through my insurance at work, because I tried for legal aid, they said that I make too much money by myself.
So once again, we're just throwing around some options for the homeowner. We don't want to leave her beat up too much. Give her some type of advice to see if you can maybe help out somebody. Government assistance. We don't really know. She's in a bad situation. Her husband just pretty much left her with all the bills. So she's not getting child support. She's a single mom raising the child, and it's just very, very sad. So try to give the homeowner some advice if you can. They'll like you even more.
So I had to wait until November to even put legal on my insurance for, my work, for, open enrollment type stuff. And that doesn't kick until January, but I plan on, in January, just divorcing him on adultery and abandonment because he's been living with somebody else for 5 months now. I mean, and not helping me at all. So
Wow.
I don't have to wait an extra year or whatever because it's only obvious that he's abandoned his family. So
Yeah, you're right. It's terrible, man.
Just do the best you can with that lawyer.
Just a sad situation. Just listen to it. Let her. She's just dumping her sewer on top of me, just taking her trash and dumping it all on top of us. So I am going to listen a little bit more, but not too much because this is a very close deal. So let's just do some more listening. You need to perfect your listening skills in this business. So the better listener you become, the more people will just love you.
I'm strong, so I'm trying to just do what I can, pay what I can. Have a
Well, you're
plan.
taking action by calling. I'm assuming.
He has great advertising. I couldn't walk by him.
Oh my God, that's right.
What, the car?
No, he had a little cardigan or sweater
I
on. It
did,
says
yeah.
"I buy houses" on the back of his shirt.
Oh, really?
And I was like, "Oh, hey, wait a minute."
I remember that. I was with my friend.
All right, so Tamara, that was a great thing you said there. At least you're taking action. You gave her a positive and all this negative. At least you're taking action. You're an action taker. You called us, and then she went to talk on about how she found out about us. And I encourage you to put "I buy houses" on the back of all your coats because it works. Here's a deal that I got from one of my coats that says "I buy houses," and you can see some other free advertising in my how to flip houses you don't even own course.
So we'll see what we can do. Next thing, if you want to fax that over, or
Yeah, I can fax this over to you tomorrow morning, actually, if you like.
there's some other document we're gonna need. It's called a mortgage release, where we can actually talk to the bank. But I don't have it with me.
Okay.
I'll do it after we get that.
Yeah, and if you want, you can fax whatever you need. What kind of
You got a fax too?
Well, yeah, at work. It's 736 6 and
73. Okay. You got an email?
it's a gmail.com.
All right, cool. I'll email it over to you. This is a release that says you allow us just to talk to the bank.
Oh yeah, that's
Period.
fine. And then I can just print it out and sign it.
Yep.
Oh,
This is just a release for saying that you know we recorded our conversation.
yeah. Okay. What day is it? 7?
Today's 7, yeah. So you definitely got your wife for 100,000. These guys are so crooks. They've got bailed off all these bad loans anyway, so just in case you didn't know that, they've already been compensated for the bad loans. Alright?
Alrighty. Yeah.
Alright. So I'll hear from you tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then either me or Mary get in touch with you.
Oh, thank you.
Good luck to you.
Oh, thanks.
Alright, yeah. I know it's crazy.
Alright, guys.
Okay, have a good one.
Okay, so now I'm going to wait to receive a copy of her of her lender's statement, whatever her monthly mortgage statement was, and I'm going to get an authorization to release information on her. I need to be able to talk to the bank, so I'm going to fax that or email it over to her so she can send that back to me. I start talking to the bank and get a reinstatement figure to see how much that is. If we're going to do it, sometimes we just leave it in arrears. And the authorization, because we can't start anything until we talk to the bank to verify all that she owes and anything that's been escrowed, insurance, taxes, all that stuff. Okay, this next section, you're going to hear the coaching client, Tamara, that was with us at the home visit. She's going to be asking some questions. I hope that these questions will be some of the questions that you had in your mind so that we can get them answered right here today. So we're going to listen to this quick Q&A and then finish with our summary for this recording.
We could maybe rent it for like $950. The only reason it's decent is because nobody has to go out and get a loan. You can walk into a loan, you know.
What is when you're doing this subject to? How do you factor in?
I'm recording.
How do you factor in the work that needs to be done? Like, what do you?
I mean, this house is livable. Carpet and paint. The reason is you can get in this house easy. You don't have to go get a loan.
Okay.
No down payment. It's like, you know, it's in a nice little cul-de-sac here.
Yeah.
I would definitely be interested in locking this one down.
That's a great question, Tamara. If the house needs some serious repairs, which this one really doesn't, it is livable. It needs some repairs, but these repairs can be put off. But if the house needs some serious repairs, you will have to either do those repairs or pass them on to your end buyer or the tenant. So you have to be prepared to either do them yourself or say, hey, look, this deal is such a great deal or such a low monthly payment that someone would be willing to come in and do the repairs for you or do the repairs for the great deal or the low monthly payment. So yes, you will need to take into consideration if it needs a roof, if it needs some plumbing, electrical, some flooring work or some sheetrock work or windows. So please remember that you're gonna, if the property isn't move-in ready, you will have to do the work or pass it on to your end buyer to do that work.
No, where would you get the money to? Well, not where would you get the money, but to give her money and then catch the payments up. How do you make your money?
I'm talking about giving her $200 and she's not giving it. Yeah. She either gets nothing or $200.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
Yeah. When I say money, that's why I want them to say, hey, what am I gonna get? And then I say, listen, this is what we're gonna give you $200 or $250.
Yeah.
I mean, that's nothing. If you can't come up with that in this business, you need to get out of the game, you know. So.
That's about it. I like door. That door needs to be fixed.
I mean, you maybe spend $1,000, $2,000, but you got a free house though.
Yeah. Okay.
I wouldn't even bring it current. I'd leave it in arrears.
You would? Why?
No reason. Not my credit. It's not your credit. You can leave these. I know guys that have loans that are old and they've been 120 days late for 5 years.
Really?
Sad, man. Yeah, it ain't. It's not your problem. You just leave it right where it is. Start paying it at this time. So all that crap before, I used to bring them current, and I'm like, man, forget this. I'm not doing this no more. What for? So.
Wouldn't they come back and say, hey, you didn't bring my loan current?
I'm not promising them to do that. I told her that I've done that in the past. I told her in the past I've brought loans current, and the people never moved out.
Right.
But I'm not saying I'm going to do that with hers. I may or may not. All depends on the deal.
Okay, guys, it's not your responsibility to bring somebody else's loan current. If she's 5-6 months behind, you can just come in and pick up the payments at that time. Now, be aware that you may still be on the radar for a foreclosure, but it's not your obligation to clean up somebody else's mess. So I know like I was telling her, some guys just keep the loan where it is and start picking up the payments at that time. Now, we are telling our homeowner that we are keeping the loan in arrears. You need to make sure you be upfront with your seller that, listen, hey, I'm not going to bring this current. I'm just going to I'm going to take over the payments at this time where we're at right now. I'm not going to bring it current.
If I get somebody in here, say if we get somebody here with $10,000 down,
Okay.
we just happen to find somebody, or $5,000 down. I may put $2,000 towards those arrears. That
Right.
way it looks like
Yeah.
it's being tried to be caught up.
Right.
So you don't stay all the way on the blacklist with the bank. At least they take you off the loss mitigation department where it's going to foreclosure.
Right.
If you make if they think you're trying, then they take you out of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And would they call a loan if they find out somebody else is living in this?
Okay, would they call the loan? No. Do they have the right to? Yes, they do have the right to. Not if they found out if somebody's living in it. If they find out the deed has been transferred.
That's what.
But we're going to transfer this house into the family trust.
Oh.
All right. And what would someone look when they do a title search? They say this house is owned by the family trust. What would they think?
Family still living there.
Absolutely, yeah. That's how we take title to subject
Okay.
twos.
Okay.
But 9 times out of 10, I know 2 people that have had notes called because the homeowner called the bank.
Oh.
Typically, the bank is not going to spend money to do a search. They have to pay to have a searcher go to the courthouse to find this stuff. And
okay.
they got a million.
Houses.
They got millions of houses going to the foreclosure. They're not worried about if the loans get paid. It's not even on the radar. Look,
Yeah.
it's still over here in the red or black, whatever.
So why would a homeowner do that?
Why would they do what?
Call. Why would they call a bank?
Spite. You didn't bring it up current. They may do that. They may. Sometimes people want to buy another house and they see that loan is on there. They call the bank and say, "I sold that house." Da da da. So it happens. But I've only heard out of the hundreds of investors that I know, it's only happened to 2 people that I know. Yeah.
And they would get foreclosed on if they call. Do you let them know that when you're
Yeah,
doing
it
the
would be
subject
there.
to? Would you?
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
would
you don't
go
even
on-
tell them. All those in the documents.
Oh, okay.
And I'm gonna do a 1-day class for you guys next month for sub 2.
Okay.
Yeah, on Saturday. It'll be all day.
Cool.
Good. So most of your leads are gonna be like this. Most of your halfway decent leads.
Now, the majority of your leads are going to be either over leveraged leads or subject to leads like these. So you need to master this strategy. You need to master the subject to strategy so you can get in there, buy several houses, and have no loans on your credit. If you have to get behind on the payments, it won't affect your credit. So make sure you learn these tools that we're teaching you. If you only understand wholesaling or buying at a discount, that means you're going to approach. If that's the only tool that you know, it's kind of like having a hammer. Every situation that you look at with a hammer looks like a nail, right? You can only use one thing with a hammer. That's hammering in nails. I hope you don't. We don't want you to try to build a real estate empire or a real estate or house with a hammer. You need to have several tools to build a house, right? So here we are at the end of ninjanegotiating.com. I am so excited that you have shared your time with me, and it's taken me so long to get this thing together for you. I wish you knew how long it's taken me. I do this because I love you, and I want to be able to share my experiences with you, my years and years and years of flipping houses, buying at discounts, doing subject twos, owner financing deals, buying with short sales, and just doing all types of deals. Met a lot of people, haven't done all the deals, but I've met so many people going in these houses, sharing my knowledge with people, how I can help them and assist them with their real estate problems. And you are an official ninja now. You have a black belt in negotiating with homeowners. So when you go out there, you're going to program your homeowner to do exactly what you want, to sell you their house, give you that great deal, and you can do it. I want to get you out there to get these deals closed. I don't care if it's a wholesale, a subject to owner financing, using an option. Get it done. Get out there and negotiate a great deal. All right, guys, this is Chris Haskins and over and out, and I love you, and I hope to see you next time from NinjaNegotiating.com. Take care.